Welcome to today's episode of Heard and Seen Around. I am Rajesh Karipurath. This is my take on macroeconomic and geoeconomic data points, which I find interesting. I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I enjoyed curating it. Cheers.
Supply chain issues. This is the adult business version of "The dog ate my homework." It explains everything and solves nothing. We hang the petty thieves and appoint the great ones to public office. I don't jog. If you see me running, you should run too, because it means something dangerous is chasing me. Auditor, someone who arrives after the battle is over and bayonets the wounded. I accepted the terms and conditions. This is the biggest lie I tell myself. I have agreed to sell my soul and my firstborn child just to use a flashlight app.
On the surface, the S&P 500 looks calm. Underneath, the Magnificent Seven are quietly arguing among themselves. Alphabet and Amazon are pushing higher, while Apple, Microsoft, Meta, and Tesla look like they have misplaced momentum somewhere between guidance calls and valuation math. This isn't a roaring tech rally, it's a selective audition. Index stability is doing the PR work, but stock level conviction is thin. In short, markets aren't bullish or bearish, they're picky. And picky markets don't reward lazy positioning. This chart screams one thing: size still matters in mining. BHP and Rio Tinto sit on top like heavyweight champions, iron ore, copper, scale, and pricing power doing the heavy lifting. China looms large too, reminding markets that commodities are geopolitical assets, not just rocks in the ground. Meanwhile, copper and lithium names are quietly climbing, powered by electrification and the energy transition, less pickaxe and more power cable. Bottom line, the world's green future still runs on very old school digging, just with better spreadsheets. This chart makes a blunt point. CPI is still about 12% above where a clean 2% path should have landed the US. That's not noise, that's cumulative damage. Cutting rates now would mean treating the inflation target like a suggestion and not a rule. Monetary policy isn't about vibes or calendar years, it's about outcomes. Until that excess inflation is worked off, easing risks locking in a higher price level permanently, credibility once spent is very hard to refinance. As Milton Friedman said, inflation is taxation without legislation, and the bill is still unpaid. This map shows inequality isn't just about rich versus poor, it's also about where you earn. In Goa or Delhi, cracking the top 1% needs north of 40 lakh rupees. In Bihar or the Northeast, a fraction of that gets you there. The national average is 22 lakh rupees, but averages lie politely. India isn't one income ladder, it's dozens, stacked side by side. Geography, not just effort, decides how steep the climb really is. As George Bernard Shaw said, the greatest of evils and the worst of crimes is poverty. This chart shows that air power is brutally unequal. The US doesn't just lead, it laps the field with more aircraft than the next three combined. Russia and China follow, but with very different doctrines. Russia heavy on legacy platforms, China racing ahead on modernization. India's ranking reflects scale and regional necessity and not global projection. And smaller fleets don't mean weakness. Japan, Israel, and UK prove capability beats raw counts. In military aviation, numbers open the door, but technology decides who stays in the room. This list is a reminder that silver is not rare, it's unevenly placed. Mexico towers over the pack, producing nearly double the next two combined, thanks to geology and decades of mining muscle. China and Peru follow, while the rest is a long tail of byproduct silver, riding along with copper, zinc, and lead. Translation: silver supply does not respond fast to price spikes because most miners aren't digging for silver in the first place. That's why rallies feel sudden and shortages feel very personal. As Mark Twain said, a mine is a hole in the ground with a liar standing next to it. This isn't about real estate, it's about leverage. Greenland sits at the crossroads of the Arctic air routes, missile early warning, and the next big commodity rush as ice melts. Trump's tariff threat turns trade into a geopolitical crowbar, align with the US security priorities or pay at the border. For Europe, that's a red line. Sovereignty isn't a negotiable line item. For Washington, it's classic hardball strategy in an era where minerals, maps, and markets collide. Welcome to Geopolitics with a customs form attached. As Henry Kissinger said, America has no permanent friends or enemies, only interests.